We still got plenty of traffic around McCook here. Still got plenty of traffic. People are out and about. This is McCook's Mr. Bilson. Honored to have you here, coming out of McCook, Nebraska on the 30th of March. It is still pretty mellow here. Most of the stores are open. Walmart, Dollar General, the grocery store, the hardware stores, the auto parts stores are open. Traffic is light. People are not out as much as they were. For sure, the one thing that's been hurt real bad are the restaurants, absolutely. And of course, the schools are all closed, and trying to see a government official is impossible right now. But with that in mind, the town is still doing its thing, and almost like a twilight zone, seeing everything happen around you, but yet you don't really realize what effect it's going to cause down the road. We have a first death in Grand Island. That's a little over 2 hours east of here. And there's the virus in North Platte. A couple of people have the disease there. And so we're watching on pins and needles how long it's going to be before it hits here. And most people are finally coming to grips with the concept of staying home and hiding, if you will. And it is, it's a mental shock to a lot of people that had no problem jumping in the car and taking off and going any place, anytime they wanted. The Chinese couldn't have done a better weapon against us, and they bragged that they would destroy America without firing a shot, and they may well have done just that, or at least the free America that we used to know. But you might be interested in, I talked to a law enforcement officer locally, and he said this is a great time for you to speed, because he said, I'm not going to pull you over for speeding. He said, I don't want to be around anybody more than I have to. Another officer said that he is also stepping back away from the public every chance he gets, because he said, I've got two parents, both of them in their early 90s, and I promised them that they would never have to go to the nursing home as long as I'm alive. His brother had already passed away, so he was their sole provider. And he said, if something happens to me, he said, they have to go to a nursing home because they can't take care of themselves that well. Plus his law enforcement duties. So he said, I am stepping back as much as I can and still keeping my job. He said, I've got 2 years to go before I can retire. And he said, it's going to be pins and needles on whether I can get that done. I would finish with this, though, that probably one of the more scary things out there in war is that the doctors have to decide who lives and dies in the battlefield. And so it is with this war, that if you get on a ventilator and you code, you die, and rather than to try to bring you back, they just let you go now, because that ventilator is needed by somebody else on a waiting list. Yeah. So needless to say, that's where we are here in McCook, Nebraska. We can only hope the best for the nation and where you live as well. The key word I'd like you to never forget, though, is where this came from. And this is not the first time they've sent a virus over here. I hope you have a long memory. And from now on, buy as little as possible, if none if possible, as soon as possible, from China. Thank you for your time.